Number 5. The Galapagos. If slow as a turtle is a saying, this is the reason it exists. The Galapagos giant tortoise isn't an animal, it's a walking armored vehicle that decided movement was optional. You could film a vlog, edit it, and upload it, and it still wouldn't have crossed a single yard. These beasts weigh over 900 pounds, about the size of a golf cart, and live well past 150 years, long enough to witness 3 industrial revolutions and the entire career of the Rolling Stones. On their island home, they're landscapers, gardeners, and seed spreaders, basically nature's free bulldozers. The word Galapago comes from Old Spanish for saddle because their shells literally look like one. Apparently, nature names things by shape, not by personality. Scientists used to think they lived long because they moved slow, fewer life accidents. Nope, their secret is biological battery saver mode. Their metabolism crawls so slowly they can survive a full year without eating or drinking. It's like winning the world championship in fasting. When Darwin visited in the 1830s, these tortoises were his lightbulb moment. Dome-shaped shells for wet islands, saddle-shaped shells for dry ones, evolution's first fashion law. Each island a different runway. Modern science cracked the genetic code behind their long life. Their DNA carries extra copies of repair and cancer defense genes, think AppleCare Plus for chromosome. If one breaks, another takes over. And then there's Lonesome George, the last of his kind, the final bachelor on Tinder, but with genetics so good scientists still cry about it. The Galapagos tortoise doesn't fear time, it makes time wait. If death himself showed up, the tortoise would just blink slowly and say, "Sorry, I move a little slow. Come back in a few centuries." Number 4. The Greenland shark. If slow and steady wins the race, this guy never finished it. Meet the Greenland shark, the ocean's cranky old man who's been around since before Hamlet hit theaters. Born when Shakespeare was still figuring out his handwriting, it swam past the American Revolution, ignored both world wars, and might still be alive, watching you binge Netflix tonight. This thing can live up to 512 years. Yeah, your skincare routine just lost the war. It stretches over 23 feet long, about the size of a school bus, and moves slower than your uncle on a Monday morning grocery run, top speed under 2 miles per hour. It lives in the icy North Atlantic, where time itself seems frozen. The cold acts like a deep-sea freezer with fins. Its metabolism is so slow, scientists call it biological low-power mode. And get this, they age it by carbon dating the eye. Not poetic eyes are the window to the soul stuff, literally the eyeball. Those eye proteins form before birth and never change. It's like finding a birth certificate in the retina. The oldest female they tested, somewhere between 272 and 512 years old. In human terms, that's long enough to outlive the Habsburg dynasty and still show up to your Wi-Fi outage. The Greenland shark adds only half an inch of growth per year, so if it wants to grow another foot, it'll need a few empires to collapse first. Its meat is toxic unless buried, fermented, and dried. Icelanders call it hacker. Picture sushi so rotten Gordon Ramsay would yell, "This is disgusting," and the locals would shrug and say, "Exactly. This shark is living proof that slow doesn't die, slow lives forever." While humans count age in years, this thing counts it in kingdoms. Somewhere out there, an ancient shark is still gliding through the dark, older than your family tree, and probably still hasn't reached its first destination. Number 3. Leopathy zanosa. If the ocean had a retirement club for immortal creatures, Leopathy zanosa would be the lifetime president. It lives nearly 1,600 feet below the waves off Hawaii, in a place where sunlight gave up centuries ago. Picture a gothic chandelier dressed in orange and black, part coral, part mood. Swing the deep sea's true emo queen. This coral doesn't just grow old, it outlives the calendar. Carbon dating shows some colonies are over 4,265 years old, which means it started life while the Egyptians were still building pyramids, and it's been quietly judging every civilization since. Its growth rate, about 4 micrometers per year. That's roughly 1 red blood cell. To grow a single millimeter, it needs 2 centuries. Even snails would file a complaint for unfair competition. For decades, scientists thought it was just a Mediterranean species. Then in 2015, someone finally checked and went, "Oh, this thing's older than the idea of the Mediterranean." Its name, Anosa, literally means long-lived in Latin, basically nature saying, "We ran out of adjectives, just call her Old Lady Eternal." Its longevity secret, doing absolutely nothing, no sunlight, no drama, just chilling in the dark and eating marine snow. That's science speak for bits of organic junk drifting down from the surface. In other words, it's the DoorDash of the deep. If the Galapagos tortoise is the wise old grandpa, Leopathy zanosa is the artsy ant who listens to vinyl in the dark and insists time is a construct. It builds massive, 3-dimensional coral forests, underwater Airbnbs for fish who never pay rent. And its black skeleton, it's basically the ocean's hard drive archiving climate history for 4 millennia, the Google Drive of the abyss. This coral doesn't live fast or die young. It just lives forever. Proof that the real keys to immortality are go slow, avoid drama, and order delivered. While other sea life chase glory, Leopathy zanosa just floats there, timeless, flawless, and still goth after 4,000 years. Number 2. Anoxicalix jubini. If slow living were a lifestyle trend, this thing invented it. Meet Anoxicalix jubini, the Antarctic glass sponge, or as I like to call it, the crystal Methuselah. It's been alive so long it probably watched the Ice Age end and still hasn't finished sighing about it. It looks like a chandelier that fell into the ocean and decided to stay there. Standing nearly 6 feet tall, it can live up to 15,000 years. Back when it was a kid, woolly mammoths were still out for a stroll. Living hundreds of feet below the frozen surface, it doesn't grow old, it just exists. One specimen was monitored for a full decade and didn't grow a single millimeter. That's not evolution, that's a buffering screen. And don't let the word sponge fool you. This isn't the soft kind under your sink. This thing builds a skeleton out of hydrated silica, basically living glass. Humans need furnaces hotter than hell to make glass. This creature, it brews it cold with enzymes. Nature looked at our factories and said, cute. Watch this. Its skeleton is an engineering masterpiece. Thousands of glass spicules layered like rebar, flexible yet strong, able to transmit light better than fiber optic. While we're still untangling our Wi-Fi cables, this thing has been live streaming sunlight from the ocean floor for 15,000 years straight. If humans are iPhones that need charging daily, this sponge is a Nokia brick phone, immortal, indestructible, and no software updates required. It just sits there, filters water, eats bacteria, and survives every extinction event like it's none of its business. Its cousin, the Venus's flower basket, became famous for its till death do us part shrimp. Couple two little crustaceans that swim in when young, grow up and get stuck forever. A glass prison with all-inclusive room service. In Japan, it's a wedding gift symbolizing eternal love, or as I call it, enter once, respawn never. The glass sponge doesn't hunt, it doesn't move, it doesn't stress, it just outlives everyone. While we're fighting wrinkles, it's laughing under the ice. You change creams, I change oceans. Slow life, cold life, forever life. Number 1. Turritopsis dohrnii. If life had a restart button, would you hit it? The immortal jellyfish already did, and it's been smashing that button ever since. This fingernail-sized creature, Turritopsis dohrnii, has a talent that would make Elon Musk jealous. It literally dies, then comes back, like nothing happened. It's the Benjamin Button of the ocean, except it doesn't need a Hollywood script to pull it off. When it's injured, starving, or just plain done with life, it melts into a blob of cells, then regrows itself as a baby jellyfish. The whole process takes about a day, faster than you can reboot your Wi-Fi router. Scientists call it biological immortality, meaning it doesn't die of old age, just bad luck. In theory, it could live forever unless something else decides it's sushi night. At first, scientists thought it was faking death. Nope, it's doing a full factory reset. Every cell, muscle, nerve, you name it, turns back into stem cell. The process is called transdifferentiation, or as I like to call it, forgetting how to die. It has double the DNA repair genes of its mortal relatives, and even keeps its telomeres, those little caps that decide when your cells get old. In other words, it hacked aging itself. If humans are Windows slower every year, this jellyfish is a MacBook that auto-reinstalls macOS after every crash. When you're stressed, you go to a spa. When it's stressed, it goes back to preschool. Japanese scientist Dr. Shin Kubota has spent decades raising these things, feeding them shrimp eggs one by one under a microscope. His life's work sounds like Pokemon breeding, except the creatures keep rebooting instead of evolving. The immortal jellyfish doesn't fear death. It just looks him in the eye and says, play again. While we burn money on anti-aging serums, it just melts, resets, and starts fresh. Honestly, if there's reincarnation, skip being human, I'll take the blob that gets infinite retry. And that's it, folks. Welcome to Beats Lore, where we peel back nature's weirdest layers and laugh with evolution itself. If you've watched a jellyfish reboot life, a turtle outlive empires, and a shark older than Shakespeare, trust me, it only gets stranger from here. Next episode, you pick the category A, the wildest ancient creatures with survival tech that makes no sense. B, the extinct beasts that look like Photoshop glitches. C, the fossils that reveal evolution's biggest what the hell moments. Drop your ABC and one reason in the comments. We'll read them and feature you in the next round of our Ranking the Absurd series. Like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss the next creature that'll make you say, wait, that actually existed.